Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. On the series of these videos, we are looking at the online shopping APIs. It's decoupled to be a microservice. So at this stage, we currently have two microservices, which is the product microservices and the customer card microservice. So please tune in, enjoy the video. If you have questions, drop a comment. Also, please like and subscribe. So if you have followed my videos in the past, you would then know that we have a code for every tutorial, and the code for this tutorial goes like this: when somebody shares, everybody wins, by Jim Rohn, my favorite motivational speaker. So here's the plan for this particular video. What we're going to be doing today is adding an item to a cart. In the past, we've seen how you add an item or a product, define its categories and everything. I think it's video number 3 on this series on videos. Go check it out if you missed it. And then the next part is to connect on that and then add the shopping cart component or the user cart component of it. So these are the 4 items we'll be looking at. To call the user cart microservice, that's number 1. And then number 2, we need to post the item the user is selected onto this microservice. This will be an HTTP call, and then in the end we like to return a page to view these items for the user cart. And then lastly, we want to update the cart counter that normally appears at the top bar of the page. So in the end, we want to have something that looks like this. So let's dive into it. So currently our cart item is hard coded. We will look at how to calculate that dynamically, and then this is where we get a list, and this is where we get a single product. And as it stands, this is the last video we looked at. So when we stopped on here, the next part was to go ahead and add a user card endpoint or URL that will allow us to post to the user card microservice. So how are we going to do that? We have this customer card controller. I want you to take note at the naming convention at the top, and this is the method we want to call. And once we've called this method successfully, we want to redirect to this one to get the whole list back. So I'm gonna go to the UI, and then on the UI, this is the method that we want to modify. so that it does that for us. But before I do that, I want to go to the page where the click event of this add item to cart happens. This is where we will be calling this post method. So that will be sitting on product get by ID. So when you go to the view, you will then notice that it has okay, that's where we need to start off. It will have a URL that posts to the user card controller. So this view should look like something like this. And then the only two things we are interested on this one is the ID and the quantity, which are inputs. Okay, so moving on. This will be our input, and that is also our input. So meaning our add to cart method should take some parameters. So let's quickly do that. We've mentioned that we want this to be a post, so we'll get rid of that. And then we get rid of that object, and then we look at passing in the ID like so, and then passing in the quantity. There we go. So now we have the ID, we have the quantity. What else do we need? We need to specify the URL, firstly for getting this product, and then secondly we need another one for posting this product onto the cart item. So how do we get that? Let me change that to a normal string. This will be an HTTP localhost, and then now we need the port number. So the port for product is that. So I'm just gonna copy that across and then paste it on there. And then now I have API products, and then I can do get product by ID /. And then I'm just gonna give this a proper name and say product URL, and then I want to create a product object over here. So, and then for me to be able to post this product, I will need HTTP client. I need to perform a GET request on that HTTP client object, get the response, and then convert read that response is a string, and then convert that string back to an object again. So I actually agree with what IntelliSense has generated over here, so I can just accept those changes, formatted this code so that it's nicely aligned. Okay, cool. It's nice that our tools are able to generate some of this code for us. It really makes our jobs easy. But anyways, we have HTTP client, we're doing a get, we're passing that ID over there, we're reading a string from the response, and that gives us like a JSON payload. We take the JSON payload and we deserialize it back to an object which is of type product model. Fine, perfect. Now we have our product. So from this product, now we want to create our customer card item. So actually I want to change this. I don't like the way it is being declared over here. It's why do it in 2 lines if I can do it in 1? So I have that. Now I can sort of pass in the values I need over here. This date is, I wanna say it's headed to cart. Okay, cool. And then we have the ID, we have the quantity, we have the price, and then we have the customer ID. I want to leave the customer ID hard coded for now because you see how we start using it as we start implementing authentication and user registration on the next coming videos. So for now I'm going to leave it as is, and then yeah, just go with the assumption that there is a default user that is being used in the background. Okay, now that I have that, I can now go ahead and look at calling the customer card. I don't need so much space over here. I can just clean that up. And then I need to define now another URL for the customer card. So if I do customer card item URL, this will be, it should follow this naming convention, which is customer card and then API and so forth. So it's customer card, API, and then the action I'm interested on is actually this one. I want to add something to this card, and then because I'm adding, I don't need this forward slash at the end there. This is just a post request. So now I can grab that and use it over there. Okay, cool. So what we have done so far, we've done the get product by ID, and then from there we have done the post asynchronous for the user card item that needs to be saved onto a DB. Okay, cool. Once all of that has been done successfully, we want to redirect back to the index method. This is where the fun stuff is happening. So when we get here on the index method, we want to do two things here. We want to get items from the cart. Let's quickly do that. Before we even do that, we need to get the port number for this microservice. So it's sitting on the launch settings files, and you can grab that one. Okay, cool. So now we have same convention, and I believe this is customer cards. Yes, it is. And then okay, I'm getting lost between my tabs. I'm gonna go via files. And then the action name is index. So to solve this problem, I'm gonna go close all tabs, save changes, and then just open the ones I need. Because right now this is the method I wanna call. I'm struggling because I've got so many things opened. Anyways, okay, that should give us the list of the cart items. This is because we are using a default user. I'm able to just grab everything, but if as soon as we implement the authentication part of this, then we're gonna have to specify exactly which records are we pulling, because we can't just pull everything. That doesn't make sense, because now that will mean this user is able to see items that belongs to the other user. So yeah, in the real world it doesn't make sense. You get fired if you implement something like that. Okay, next you wanna, okay, over here we have done this call. Let me name it correctly. It's the customer card URL. Okay, perfect. There you go. Customer card URL giving us the list of items from the cart. Okay, cool. Now we have that list of items, but then because every ad is treated as a new request, that means if you buy the same product twice at different times, even if it's like a 2 minute gap or a 2 minutes difference, it's gonna add it twice. So we need to group this for the user and display it nicely on the view. Otherwise, it won't make sense, because it will be like a whole long list of the same records. I will show you what I mean. Okay, I'm happy with the group by, but don't want to group with the cart ID. I want to group with the product ID. Yes. And then also the select. I don't just want one item, because if you select the first one, it will just give you one item, and that's not really what I want. What I want here is to get a list of items. So I need to implement something like this. Nice. And then okay, I can go with the tag, accept all of that, and the quantity is the sum of quantities. That is correct. And the price is just the price. And then the status, in fact, I'm gonna get rid of the price at this point, and then leave the status. Customer ID, it's not that important really at this stage. And then yeah, I'm now happy with that. Now that I have a list of the grouped cart items, I can now actually do the mapping, because these are microservices. Product details are sitting in a product microservice, and then user card items are sitting in a user card microservice. Two separate things, but in the eyes of the user, it needs to look like one thing. That's where the challenge is. But like for you, we can solve this easily. There's a lot of ways around how to implement this, but as long as you have the right solution, that's all that matters really for me. Okay, so we are inside the grouped list of cart items now. On this list, we want to get the product that matches that item, the ID of course. And then I don't like what IntelliSense has done here for me, because I don't really see the need to declare HTTP client twice. No, I don't see the need for that. Even this response tool, I don't like it. I mean, it's nice that the tool is able to do this, but you need to check what it's giving you. Most of the time it's going to give you the correct stuff, but sometimes you just need to modify it to what you need, like I'm doing now. I'm actually making a mistake now. We're talking to products now, so this is a product response. Okay, looks good. And then that also looks good. Can I do this? No. There's some more. Okay, and then we grab that, pass it over there, and yeah, I'm gonna do this again and just say API over here, and then that we can use it over there. Okay, so what we're doing here, we've grabbed a list of the customer cart items, and then we've grouped the items from this list using the product IDs, summing up the quantity. So for the same item, we just increment the quantity and we return it as one record. And then afterwards, we're looping through this list, calling the get by ID method on the product microservice now to return us a single product. We're missing a semicolon there. Is there a missing bracket or an extra bracket? I think it's an extra bracket. Okay, cool. And then we get the response. We read it as string. We get the string response and we deserialize it to product model. So there's one thing we need to consider here. Product model uses an iForm file. That is fine if you are posting data, but if you are getting data, because the data is stored this is actually on the product microservice. Yeah, there we go. So in here, the data is stored as a byte. So meaning this needs to change to a byte array as well. So for us to be able to do that, we're gonna have to go to models. Okay, we already have it here, so we can use this model because all the other properties are exactly the same, so there's no conflicts there. So we can just pass that in, perfect. And then as soon as we have that, we can then now check. That product is returning us something. This doesn't need to be inside here. It can be outside, even that's also fine. The only important thing for us to do is this one, the product details, which is something is missing. The customer card item supposed to have like that, and then okay, but here we only need two things now. We don't need that. Actually, we don't need all of this. What's the complaint? I see the problem. Using the wrong model. I should find what are you complaining about. Okay, perfect. Once we have done that, we can then now go to, I don't want to do this here. And then, yeah, I'm more than happy with this. So now I need another object, which is of type customer cards item list. This one is just like the response of this request. So it's gonna be this to add that, like so, and then grab that again. Okay. See, this one is complaining. Not sure what it's complaining about, but I think we have a missing bracket somewhere. Like, thought as much. Okay, cool. Then, as soon as this is ready, remember we didn't need to add a view or a page for this one because we already have a page that sends a request through to this one, but this one is receiving data and this one is returning data back to us, so we need to display that data somehow. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a view. It's a razor view. I'm expecting a list, so I'm gonna take a list, and I know it's of customer cart item model, so I'm gonna take customer cart item model. that Visual Studio created for me in the background whilst building the project simultaneously. Um, Hopefully all goes well, there's no complaints. There we go. So now we have our page. Okay, let's see what else we need here. I believe this is pretty much it, but I'm not too sure. Let's just double check a few things. We have that, we have that. Just put a line break here. Then we have that. We have that. We have that. I don't like this the way it looks, to be honest. So I think I'm just gonna grab it, put it somewhere here at the top. Okay, so I believe we have everything we need. Actually, even though I don't understand. Okay, we get a product and then we post it. Nice. We get a list of cart items and then we get some product details and then we return that to a page. Then we've created that page. So now we just need to make sure that our mapping setup is actually happy with what we have, because we've made some moderate changes now, adding a customer. So this doesn't cater for that. So we just need to make those changes. So over here, I want to say for member because remember we're not using the customer at the moment, so we might as well just ignore it. Also, the card ID is not a field that we are passing through from the UI, so it's actually auto-generated by the database, so we don't need to worry about that. So this line of code is just to ignore that mapping. For the custom, I think we've removed, yeah, we just have the ID, so I think we don't even need this one, but we will see now when we run the application. Okay, cool. Let's rebuild everything, make sure if the thing still works as expected, and then we can quickly test this out. Okay, looks like everything is building successfully. Um, yeah, now we just have to run it and see if this works as expected, or we're having some issues. This is just to configure my startup to trigger all three applications at once. But normally, if you're working with one application, you don't need to run multiple. It's just one. Sometimes this kind of setup will have issues. Then you're gonna end up having to run it via command prompt. Like I said, IIS is giving us problems. So doesn't know that URL, doesn't know that URL. I won't know it because I'm now using this one. I think that's the first problem there. Okay, it's fine. So the building run wouldn't work for us, so we have to go via the terminal. To make sure nothing is being used on our terminal. So over here, I'm gonna go to .NET Build. So this is on my other screen now. And then do a .NET Run. So let's sort out the customer cart microservice. Now we will look at the next one, the product microservice, which is the shopping API, where all the items are stored. This is where we get all of our items. Do it, plan it with the .NET Build. Okay, that won't work. The .NET Run. Okay, this is complaining about. Oh, come on, I fixed it. Line 16. So the port number is used. So this is specifying a port number that is currently used. So that won't work. And I don't want to be fiddling with port numbers at the moment. So I'll just give it a different one and hope that it's actually free. because otherwise I'll run onto the same problem. Okay, it doesn't want with that one either. Okay, wait, let's read the error message first. 5,000 is in use. So it's seeing this one. And let me give it over there. Try it again. Let me build. .NET Run. Okay, that one is happy, and then now we go to the UI, and then we do the same thing. What's wrong with the UI? Oh, sorry, I'm not inside the project directory, that's why. Because it needs to locate this file over here. That's the actual project that it looks like. Okay, this one also wants 5,001 and is not available. It's the API or the UI. So for this one, I'll do for okay, that is up and running. Then we'll try it again on the browser now. It's an old test. Actually, I'm gonna go okay, cool. So now let's have a look. So this is trying to connect to, it's definitely the product microservice. It's trying to connect to this one over here. Let's quickly add yeah, it's trying to connect to that, but it's failing because it is using the wrong port number. So we need to update the UI with the correct port number to fix that error. Because you see, it's a socket exception. No connection could be made because the target machine actively refused it. So you see, for product we're running on 44314 and it's currently running on 5301, which is updated now. So that won't work. And I think while we add that, we might as well update it for the customer card microservice as well, because otherwise we will get the exact same error. So this one is on there, so it's definitely running on 5001. Okay, let's take that and go to customer card 5001. For customer card, it's 5001. That is perfect. Products. Just updated it now. 5301. Product 5301. Product 5301. Product. No. 5301. We won't be testing the ad. We can change it, but we won't be testing the ad at all. Okay, cool. So that has been done. Now we need to rebuild and rerun the UI so that it takes those changes in. Is it up and running? Yes, it is. A different problem now. It is saying there's a null reference. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. So I was lying when I said we won't be testing a product. Clearly we have to add one. I'll switch the browser because of the I've tested this on Chrome already and there's autocomplete on there. Like, I'm just lazy to type it out all over again. This is what I mean, by the way. I don't want to make it too expensive. Okay, doesn't know this endpoint. Let's see why. Product. Try it out. I know this will fail, but I'm just gonna try it out. So it's running on 5301. Actually, I'm gonna try the whole thing. HTTPS localhost product. Yeah, that's the request URL. So you see, that's the problem. It's supposed to be 301. Okay, that should solve this problem. But there's only one way to find out. I think there's another issue. But let's see. I think there's another issue with our connection string. Yes, there's another issue with our connection string. So I need to fix that quickly. Can I save this now? I think we'll have to start testing it from here again. See that it's giving us a 4-4. There's an issue that is happening. I'm suspecting a port number. Let's just close these old tabs. Okay. Okay, that works. Try it out here. Okay, that worked. And then go back to the MVCU one. Okay, that works. Okay, our button is not doing anything. Let's find out why. because it looks like the button was incomplete over there. Just needed to finish up the coding for that. Okay, product by ID is complaining. That one is complaining because I see it. Hope you can see it too. Here's the problem. We changed this method. No, it didn't actually change. Let's get products. Let's close everything. This looks good enough. Yeah, save and close it. I wonder what I'm saving there. But anyways. Product is giving us problems. See, I want to change this so that there's a clear distinction between the two. To cover that point. Yeah. But we haven't found the problem because I see the problem now. Supposed to be an HTTP get. And then I'm gonna go here. That should fix that issue. Then okay, so We also changed the online shopping microservice now, so meaning we need to rebuild it, get those changes in. Test this out with that ID. Okay, let me see what products are there firstly. We've got an ID of 1 cocoon, so we can test it out with 1. 1 is actually returning something, so this should be fine. So go back. Let's try this out again. Could not cast or convert from system stream to iPhone file product controller NBC UI line 56. Okay, let's have a look. Product controller NBC UI. This is product controller NBC UI line 56. Okay, see the problem. This is an iPhone file. That's the issue. So we want this to do it should be fine now because this one uses the byte array. So we go to the same process again. Okay, we know the API works. So we're just gonna do the same thing on the UI. In fact, I don't think we needed to rerun the microservice. It's just the UI that needed to be run this time around. Okay. Let's go back. Refresh. Okay, that issue has been fixed now. So on this page you needed the correct model name, and then also on here we changed that before it was using product mode, and then we just made it get product mode. So if I go here now, I'm able to get to this, and then this one does not exist. It shouldn't be looking for that. Well, let's find out why. So we see doing a post. That's the problem. This is sending it to add item to cart. This is called customer cart. So that should fix this issue. Now I'll terminate that and then just rerun it. Okay, so that issue has been fixed. Now we just need to look at styling this page, and we can end this tutorial for today. So I'm gonna go in here. Get rid of this code. This code. Yeah. Okay, so I have style my container, cut title, and cut table age, use a table headers, and then table rows, table things, and then image. Check if we have an image, then we convert it, otherwise you set a default one. And then cut page, and then lastly the checkout bar, and the checkout bar. Yeah, so let's try this again. UI entertainment palette. And run it. So that's the final view of our user card. And then on our next tutorial, I want us to look at updating the number of items in the cart, and then styling these pages. I want to give this a specific style, make it look nice, like a proper website. and then also make this look neat, and also perform some validations of what is in stock and what the user can actually buy. And next we want to look at removing drawn and getting the actual authenticated user. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you get alerts next time I'm pushing out another video.